As promised, we gotta talk about these clips that dropped for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I don't know if you've seen them yet. If you pay any attention to the entertainment media or anything having to do with movies, you've probably seen this mess. And it is a mess. 3 clips dropped the other day, and it seemed each was worse than the one before it. I'm going to take them in no particular order because all 3 of them are terrible. Much more terrible than the trailers that have previously been dropped by Disney. The first one, and I haven't been looking forward to this character for a while, ever since they announced she was getting her own Disney Plus show. Riri Williams was Marvel Comics, not Marvel Studios, Marvel Comics' attempt to replace Iron Man. Tony Stark in the 2020s is problematic. And since Marvel Comics went that direction way before the rest of the culture did, way back in the early 2020s, 20-teens, and they started replacing all of their dominant white characters, white male characters, with either females or heroes of color. You had your Asian Hulk, you had your Miles Morales Spider-Man, and along with the replacing of Thor with Lady Thor, although if you call it that in the presence of an SJW, they will combust spontaneously. You had Riri Williams. Now, her origin story, if you picked up the comic, reads more like that of a supervillain. The clowns that wrote her were very proud of her origin story, in which she is in class one day. Can't really tell her age. It looks like it's elementary or middle school age. And her older white teacher is telling her she can be anything she wants. And Riri is upset at this because she wanted her teacher to put her down, tell her she can't do anything. And just to humor the little girl, she goes along with it. And that's the origin of Ironheart. I seriously doubt that stupidity is what Marvel Studios went with, because that may be one of the dumbest superhero origins of all time. Because it's not the origin of a hero, it's the origin of a villain. But anyway, in this first clip, you have Riri Williams, played by Dominic Thorne. Mind you, an actress who, as far as I could tell, before Wakanda Forever has never placed higher than 9th on the playbill in anything she's been in. And that was 2 whole movies, mind you. So she plays Riri Williams, and she looks like she's in a dorm room, probably at MIT, because that's Riri Williams' origin. She was a student at MIT. And you have poor Danai Gurira, who plays Okoye, the leader of the bodyguards in the first Black Panther. In the room with her, along with Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, who, by the way, is the only thing that works in any of these clips and trailers I have seen thus far. Everything else is pretty terrible. But anyway, the 2 of them are in Riri's dorm room. And Riri is throwing crap at him. And you have Danai Gurira, playing Okoye, telling her she's coming to Wakanda with them, conscious or unconscious. And Riri throws out, "You should be conscious of your looks." And Okoye gets a puzzled look on her face, and Riri throws out that her bald head is ashy, which is where she turns to Shuri with a puzzled look, and they end the clip with Shuri giggling. That clip's bad enough. I mean, the whole thing is just stupid. It has Okoye looking more than a little psycho as they try to kidnap Riri. But then we go on to another clip where Wakanda is being flooded and is apparently under attack of not Atlanteans, because apparently they have completely changed Namor's history, origin story, character, appearance, everything. So the capital of Wakanda is under attack, and this whole sequence is absolutely terrible. We'll start with Winston Duke, who plays the leader of the Mountain Clan. I forget what his name is. But anyway, they make him look so cartoonish as he swims out to, I guess it probably is not a boat. It was probably some kind of public transportation. But anyway, there's an Atlantean warrior on it, either beating on or killing Wakandans. And he pops up, smacks the guy with his stick, and uses the stick to throw his body like 20 feet away into the water. And then he beats his chest like a gorilla. And the whole sequence was just absolutely cartoonish. And I felt so sorry for Winston Duke, because he was a badass in the first movie. He was probably my third favorite character in the first movie, behind Chadwick Boseman, of course, who was just awesome in that movie, and Letitia Wright, who played his sister, and she was just adorable. Moving on to the Atlanteans in this scene, they just look absolutely dreadful. Actually, let me go back and talk about the opening sequence, because before Winston Duke is looking cartoonish, you have Okoye and one of the other guards running out and stopping a dude in a backpack who looks like he's about to throw himself into the water, and down below is like a circle of Atlanteans, and I guess they have some kind of siren call that they're using to make him jump off the whatever it is that he was on. But they stop him, and then Okoye takes a grenade and throws it into the water. Now that's fine. But once the grenade explodes, it would appear that Disney has forgotten that physics is a thing. Because the grenade explodes in the water, and of course there's a big splash and some fire in the explosion. And only then, about 2 seconds later, do the Atlantean bodies fly out of the big splash of water, when they would have went flying as soon as the grenade exploded. And then we have the whole problem of Wakanda being flooded in the first place. Because whether you're talking about the comic book universe, where Wakanda is basically located in central North Africa, around Niger and west of, I think, Chad, and well north of Nigeria. Or you have it in the MCU, where it is supposedly located between like Ethiopia and Kenya and South Sudan, somewhere around Rwanda. Either way, it is bloody landlocked. So where the hell is all of this water coming from? And more importantly, how is it flowing uphill? Because Wakanda is in a mountainous region. Water flows downhill, and somehow the capital city of Wakanda, which is in the mountains, is somehow being flooded. And yes, I know part of it's in a valley, but valleys in the mountains are still in the mountains, which means they are above sea level and well beyond the shoreline. The only shoreline Wakanda has in either the MCU or the comics is a lake shoreline. And the lake, guess what, is pretty far inland as well. So I'm not sure how they are getting all of this water flooding the capital of Wakanda. And then we have the whole Atlanteans thing. And I'm not entirely sure why a landlocked country in either Central Africa or East Africa is having problems with Atlantis. And then you add into the fact that it's no longer Atlantis. I think it's pronounced Tlacocan, which is some kind of Aztec kingdom, underwater Aztec kingdom, that they're now having a problem with a landlocked African country on the other side of the world. I'm sure they have to explain it somehow, but I'm also sure the explanation is going to be retarded because Marvel doesn't know how to make movies anymore, as this last phase of their MCU has proven. And then we get to the not Atlanteans, because they looked absolutely dreadful. Did Kevin Feige kidnap extras from the set of Avatar 2 or 3? Because they looked more than a little Na'vi-ish, minus the tails. Now I know from the comic books, Atlanteans are blue. But they did not look as retarded as they did in the clips that they have released so far for Black Panther 2. And this flooding scene that they released the other day, it does not look like this is going to do well at all. They had people talking best movie of the year, beating Top Gun at the box office. Best movie, highest grossing movie of the year. And I don't even think it's going to crack $1 billion at this point, because you don't have China. I don't think it's been allowed or cleared to be shown in China. And the more they show, the worse it gets. And then we move on to the third clip that they released. Now, Tenoch Huerta, the guy who plays Namor, might very well be a good actor. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, and as far as I know, this is his first English language project. From what I understand, he's been in mostly Mexican and Spanish projects. He's from Mexico. But the clips I've seen of him in this movie have been dreadful. Especially this one they released the other day, where I guess he somehow got into the supernatural realm that T'Challa goes to when he's meditating in the first movie. And for some reason, Shuri and her mother are there. And this scene did not do Angela Bassett any good either, because she's a good actress. She was terrible in this. And what the hell was with the quality of these clips? They all look dreadful as well. As far as the, I don't know, the overall aesthetic and the cinematography of it was off. There was something very wrong, especially with this third one. And then the only thing, as I said, working in any of these clips, any of these trailers, was Letitia Wright as Shuri. As Shuri. She is not going to work as Black Panther. She's too small. She's barely over 100 pounds, and she's like 5.5 feet tall. And as far as I recall from the first movie, they have set up the MCU so that whoever is Black Panther has to fight unpowered against all challengers. I don't care how good she is at martial arts. She is not going to beat all challengers. And anybody who cares about her would not want her in that situation. She's not going to be able to defend the title of Black Panther. I know all the feminists are screaming at the monitor right now, but facts are facts. Physics is a thing, no matter how much Hollywood would love it not to be. And then we come to the fact that apparently they are trying to set up a T'Challa Killmonger sort of dynamic between Riri Williams and Shuri. And quite frankly, given the caliber of actors, don't get me wrong, I love Letitia Wright. But she has not attained the status that Chadwick Boseman has. I don't understand the status Hollywood has granted Richard B. Jordan, because I quite frankly don't find him to be a compelling actor with range. He plays basically slight variations of the same character in everything. However, Chadwick Boseman had range. He was a really good actor. And to compare him and Hollywood's golden boy these days, Richard B. Jordan, with Letitia Wright, who is an actually accomplished actress with, a resume, but not nearly as long a resume as Chadwick Boseman and Richard B. Jordan have. But to compare those two to Letitia Wright and Dominic Thorne, who has a grand total, if you count this movie, of 3 projects under her belt, none of which she was a star in, including this one. She's not the star of this movie. But to compare those two to Chadwick Boseman and Richard B. Jordan is ridiculous. And to think that you can set up the same kind of dynamic between Shuri and Riri that you had with T'Challa and Killmonger is insane. Not only is it insane, but it is hubris just on a level that only Hollywood can manage these days. This is the kind of hubris that the Greeks used to write about. This is the kind of hubris that made kingdoms fall in the Age of Heroes. And it is just absolutely both spectacular and terrible to watch as they go about destroying things they really have no concept of how they were made, because they just simply don't have the talent. They don't have the talent to come up with stuff like this anymore. So they take things that were built by far more talented people, and then they employ their hackery and destroy them. But they don't understand how it's made. They don't understand how it was maintained, because the people who came after the originators have to maintain this stuff. And they don't have the talent that even the people who came and maintained it have. And they don't know how to come up with new stuff, which is why they grab hold of stuff that already has fans, has a built-in audience that they can count on to come out and shovel the money into their pockets. And they aren't even putting in effort anymore. Some of these projects, you can tell they're not even trying anymore. I mean, some of the actors are. You can tell some of the actors are trying to work with the crap that they're handed. You can tell some of these actors are talented. But actors are only as good as the writing they are given and the direction they are given and the cinematography and CGI that they are shot with. And Hollywood is just not even trying these days. All you have to do is watch some of the Disney Plus shows to know that. All you have to do is watch some of the Phase 4 movies to know that. And sadly, and it is sad because while it wasn't a perfect movie, I liked Black Panther 2, or Black Panther 1, that is. And I was hoping Black Panther 2 would be good, if only as a carry-on legacy for Chadwick Boseman and what he accomplished in his life. Especially given that he was wrestling with his colon cancer for years and nobody knew about it. And to see them take what he did and not only use his dead body to pimp their crap, but to take his legacy and just take a big steaming pile on it. Because this does not look like it's going to be good. I could be wrong, and I would love to be wrong. But you can tell from the creative decisions that they have made that are obvious in the trailers and the clips that they have released that this is not going to be good. Like I said, I could be wrong. But the signs are all there that this is not going to be good. And it is a shame that they are going to use his dead body as promotional material for this garbage. I would much rather have seen them recast T'Challa with a good actor and not Richard B. Jordan, as some idiots are suggesting. Not bringing back Killmonger, as some idiots are suggesting. But to recast him with a really good actor, and no, I really don't have any suggestions. I haven't sat down and thought about it because, quite frankly, the trailers have just left me just. I've hit apathy. I have hit apathy with Marvel. People like to say the opposite of love is hate, but when it comes to fandoms, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is apathy, and I have hit apathy with both Marvel and DC. And it really, it saddens me a little bit because I grew up loving this stuff. I was excited when I thought about future Fantastic Four projects or when Disney bought the Fox mutant properties. I was excited to see the X-Men come into the MCU. Who wouldn't have wanted to see an Avengers with Tony Stark and Thor and Captain America and Black Widow and Hawkeye go up against the X-Men in an Avengers versus X-Men movie? That would have been awesome. But I think about that now and I get a little sad and I think I don't care. And the sadness isn't that I regret that I'm not going to get to see it in a way that I want. The sadness is that I don't care about something that I grew up loving. And Disney has done this to Marvel. And they have done this to Star Wars. And when I see these clips and trailers from Black Panther, I know that this is not a project that is going to revive the MCU. It is just going to continue the current trend that they are on, that they started with Phase 4. Actually, if you want to be truthful, they started with Captain Marvel and certain aspects of Endgame. Endgame was a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. Infinity War was a great movie. And that was like the end. That was the end of really good Marvel Studios productions. And right now, all they're doing is pumping out content. And I'm sad to say, from these clips and from the trailers and from some of the interviews I've seen with some of the actors and some of the other people involved with the production and some of the other stuff I've heard about other productions, Marvel Studios isn't a film and television studio anymore. It is a content studio. And I think this is the drawback of the streaming wars, is none of these companies care anymore about what they're throwing up on their services. And they're not caring what they throw up for the most part. There are exceptions. Top Gun, Spider-Man No Way Home, a few others. But for the most part, they do not care about the quality that they are putting out there with their names on it. And I'm sorry to say, Black Panther looks like it is going to be another one of those. And that's sad. Because Chadwick Boseman made that character his own in Captain America Civil War, carried it on in Black Panther, and that was pretty much it. His role in the last two Avengers movies wasn't big enough that you could say, yeah, he was really good in that. He was there. That's pretty much all you could say. There's just too many moving parts in those movies for him to stand out. Which is also sad, because those were the last glimpses of him that we got in the MCU. And now they're putting out this Drek, and I don't know. It's sad. I just really wish Disney would get themselves together, get rid of the activists, get rid of the hacks, get rid of the talentless twits that are currently running things, and get back to making good product. Good movies, good television shows. And it really makes me wonder what the Deadpool 3 movie is going to be like, and whether or not Ryan Reynolds can stand up enough to Feige and maybe even Chapek and keep it rated R. Because if he can't manage to keep it rated R, like nobody was able to keep Blade rated R, then we can chalk Deadpool up as a lost cause as well. Because you can't make a PG-13 Deadpool. You can't make a PG-13 Blade. And their record over the last few years at even making PG-13 movies is not good. And I think we can chalk up Black Panther to the not good pile as well. And that's, like I said, sad. That's all I had to say on that one. And if you like what I do here, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and comment down below to help out with the YouTube algorithm and any constructive criticism you might have. And I'll post my social media and Patreon in the comments section. Oh, I will also post the links to the clips in the comments section as well. That way you can hear the awesome dialogue in some of these clips. I kept the audio out because companies tend to like to strike for music and dialogue that is used for too long on YouTube, and I don't feel like redoing this video. So those will be down in the description as well, and I will see you in the next video. Tschüss.